came in, and this is actually something that I've been wanting ever since this became very popular way back a couple of years ago by a popular vlogger. But then again, prices back then were extremely steep, and with the battery tech now improving, I can see why these things are making a comeback, and now they're more affordable than ever. So now let's check out this S3 electric longboard by Uditer. So now let's unbox this electric skateboard, but it's actually more of a longboard than a skateboard because longboards are more for cruising and skateboards are more for tricks. But then again, let's stick with the longboard scenario. Alright, so right out of the box, they give you a manual here with all the specifications and manuals on how to operate this. But I never really use this. It's a pretty straightforward board. So this one has dual hub motors instead of the belt motors. You can get this in two variants, the hub motors and the belt motors, which is more expensive. But yeah, lifting on its side, it has a big battery, two hub motors, and a computer right here. The deck is made out of bamboo and fiberglass. So I'd say it's a pretty sturdy yet flexible build, which is important for a longboard because you want this thing to flex. So let's take this out, and as you can see, you can just drop it, no problem. And surprisingly, it actually comes with a spare battery. So the first one is attached under the board, and this is the second one. So each battery can do 20 to 25 miles, and that's plenty of distance for one battery. So combining the two batteries, you almost have 50 miles distance. Other than that, you have the fast charger that's capable of 100 to 240 volts, and this can charge each battery for around 2 to 3 hours. So more than powerful enough so you can enjoy your board more. This one is meant for adjusting the truck sensitivity. Trucks are the ones that you find under the skateboard for maneuvering left and right. So yeah, you can use this one to adjust the board to your liking, which is nice because you can tell that they're very serious with modularity and customization. And of course, the wireless remote, which I will talk about later. So now let's summon the board. First, let's turn on the remote, and from here, it's just pretty much press and go. This is the wireless remote, and this is where you're supposed to put your index finger, and this is the start button, and this is the dial that controls the acceleration and stopping of the board. So if I push this forward, you just hold it downwards and the electric board stops. And here we have your mode switch, so if you want to toggle the speed from 1 to 4, you can do that here, and you can also do the reverse here. So meaning right now the board is rear wheel drive, you can put it on reverse and it will become front wheel drive, so it will ride that way until you switch it back to normal mode. I can see why they never put the reverse button at will, because it's pretty dangerous when you're accelerating really fast and accidentally put reverse on it, so you're gonna fly forwards for sure. So lifting the board, it's a little bit heavier than most longboards, obviously, because it has a battery here and the computer here, and this right here are the motors. So dual hub motors by Uditer, so they're built inside the wheels itself, unlike the other variants wherein the motors is a little bit exposed. So I actually prefer this one, or I'd say this is more than enough for my needs. So each motor is around 600 watts and is capable of reaching speeds of up to 28 miles per hour or around 48 kilometers per hour, which is plenty fast for me, at least for my needs. I wouldn't go faster than that, or I probably haven't reached that speed yet. And it's actually pretty quiet, so if I push the acceleration, so right now this one is at speed 2, you can switch it to speed 3, and then this is the max speed of 4. So yeah, a bit scary at first and very intimidating. Hence, you actually need a full face helmet for this one, like this one from Dainese. So this one is actually built for mountain bikes, but you can use this for electric skateboards and electric bikes. You need this kind of helmet because you need the chin protector for falls and drops at high speeds. This one in particular is the Dainese Linea 01. So it has the MIPS function. You can actually feel your head move, and I paired it with this awesome Neon 100 plus goggles. And you can check them all out at Motor Market. Okay, so going back here at the board, you have your rubber tires. So these ones are actually very comfy tires. I think they call this one the Nimbus tires. It's made out of soft rubber, unlike what you'd see in most longboards wherein they have really stiff and hard wheels. Those are meant more for downhill speeds and sliding for braking purposes. But since this electric skateboard has brakes, it doesn't make sense for it to have that kind of wheels. So they opted for this one, which I'm glad they did. And it actually eliminates most of the rumbles and the imperfections on the road, as well as the tire noise, because this one acts like a regular tire. So I'm glad they added this one. Okay, so like I said, this is the trucks that I was referring to, and you can adjust it to your liking with the special tool that was included. You can adjust its sensitivity for when you're cornering. And this one is actually the rear part of the electric longboard that connects to the brain, the charging port, and the on and off switch. So this one in particular is weather sealed. You can ride this in the rain, on puddles, and you wouldn't have any problems because even the battery is weather sealed. And you know what? I'm not even sure how this thing connects to the battery because there's like no cable here, unless maybe the cables are running within or inside the board, which is very smart because it cleans up the look of the whole underbelly. You can literally drop it off from a couple of meters of height and the board won't get damaged because of the Nimbus tires and this aluminum truck set. But moving up here, we have the same Nimbus wheels. You can literally just use any longboard trucks for this one. And as for the wheels and the battery, you can actually order this off of their website because like I said, this board is made to be modular, so every single part here is replaceable, especially the battery, which I think is the main talking point for this electric longboard. Okay, so now let's talk about the battery. So to detach the battery, you simply just pull the clips together and it just pops out. And here you have your basic connector, so you just plug that out and then swap the battery in and you're done in under 10 seconds. And if you think that's not enough for you, you can actually bring the charger and charge the battery directly on the battery itself, or you can do it here for just under 2 to 3 hours to full charge. Alright, to start the longboard, it's just 2 easy steps. First, turn on the electric board with the power switch here. And now it's engaged with the red ring. And to turn on the remote, just press and hold the power button. And just like that, the board is connected and ready to go. Okay, but first, let's talk about the basics of the remote. So the hole right here is for your index finger, so it can go through and you can have a nice grip on the remote. And apologies for the frame it issues. This is not what it actually looks like. It's because of the camera. And on the settings here, we have your speed cycle, so you can cycle through speeds. So at the center, you have your speedometer, and up here you have your odometer, you have your remote battery, you have your board battery, braking power. And personally, I think braking power should be set at just around 2. I never really changed that out of the box because it just suits me well. It's not too harsh and it's not too soft, at least for my preference. And you can see the direction here for where the board is going. Okay, so now let's hop on the board and let's see what this thing can do. To start her up, just push on the throttle. Like I said, you really need a helmet for this, but to accelerate, just push on this and it just goes. So it's as simple as that. Right now speed is around 10 miles per hour, so that's pretty fast. Alright, so one of the favorite things I like about this is that when you pull the lever all the way back, the board fully stops. So now let's try it on this incline. Okay, so now let's go all the way up. And as you can see, that's pretty way up here. Alright, so like I said, going up is easy for this board, but I think the real test here, or I think the equally as important, is downhill. Because with a regular longboard, obviously you don't have brakes. For this one, it's safer. You can just modulate it while you're going downhill, so you have a controlled speed. So I think this is one of the most important things on this board. It's not just the going up, it's also the going down, which is I think harder than going up. Let's try out on this one and let's see how it fares. Okay, so this is like the free state of the board, and if I slow down, I can come to a full stop at this angle. If I release, just have a controlled descent. And to stop, you can either pull the wheel all the way back, or you can just dismount and let the remote do all the stopping. And I think this is the part where the reverse function is very important. For instances wherein the board just strayed out of nowhere, you can just put reverse just by holding this, and then you can just summon the board back to you. Pretty neat party trick. And that's not even the best part, because if for some reasons the dual battery is not enough for you, you can literally just ride this like a normal longboard for cruising in the city or even for daily commutes, because the range for one battery, I'd say, is more than enough. And yeah, I think overall this one is the best electric skateboard in the market right now. Everything's modular and easy to replace. It's pretty much just start and go. And not to mention the price. For $499, I think the Hub Motors is the best deal out there. And if you want to splurge more, you can go for the Belt Motors. But then again, I think for my personal needs, for commutes and for city cruising, I think the basic Uditer S3 is the one to go. And if you want to purchase this exact electric longboard, use my promo code WANICO to get $35 off on your purchase. Alright, but who is it for? And I think it's mostly for fun leisure activities like cruising in the parks and exploring new places. But I think it can also be used for long commutes to the city and then back. But it obviously depends on the road conditions, how far is the workplace, and on where you live and work. Alright, so that's pretty much it. If you want to see more electric videos, please hit the like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.